initially, at that time, it was about probably more saving money, making it an easier environment. So we were used to having, I think at that time we had um, a high number of employees. We had probably 400 or 500 employees back
Okay.
then. I wasn't even with the company actually then. And it, everybody had a PC. So, you were spending whatever that was, $800, $900, $1,000 a PC. Anytime you had to make a change, you had to run around to each PC to update something or make a change. It was a much more difficult world. We had 52 people in IT back then.
Wow.
So a lot has changed. And with the VDI, we went with cheaper terminals. So the terminals are like $300 a piece. And we were able to manage them through Citrix Zen desktops. So you can, build out like environments and people log into those PCs. So for us, I think this has not been too difficult. I think the hardest thing for us has been maybe the internet bandwidth.
Sure.
We do have a data center in our building, and everyone's coming into that data center. So we had a 100 meg line, a pipe, and we upped that to 200 recently, and we were pretty happy. We're with Network Maryland, and they were able to do that really quickly. So we were happy with that. We figured with all that was going on, it might take, 30 days or something probably to get that to go through, but it went through really quickly.
So your VDI infrastructure you're using is Citrix Zen desktop. You're not using VMware, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so are you publishing a desktop like via the Citrix and Zscaler?
Yes.
Okay. I mean at the edge. So are all your employees from home now? You have a couple hundred employees from home?
We're just about everybody at home. We on a daily average, we have about 215 employees, and we're running at least 192 a day. And really it's based on the time of day. So we only have probably 6 people coming into the building, and they're keeping a distance. And we have 2 locations. We have our house counsel, so our they're in another building up in actual downtown Baltimore. We're out by Fort McHenry. So we've probably got around 15 people or so that are coming into the building, but most of them are just staying for a short time and leaving, and it's becoming less and less. We have things like that we have to mail, like we have mail coming in and things that we need to mail because being an insurance company, obviously. So there's certain things we just don't have a way around right now. And I think that this does give us an opportunity to think about it more. I mean, that's been the big thing is we built this environment many, many years ago, and back then we had to say, here's the benefit of it. And, the focus was on cost.
Yeah.
That's how we sold it. But really now the real benefit is the big benefit now is just the flexibility of the workforce. We have about 150 people that telework at least one day a week.
Okay.
And we basically were immediately able to move those 150 people to full-time teleworking. So it reduced the amount of people that were in each other's space quickly. And then we have about 45 people who use desktops still. We did launch out a VPN. We put Palo Alto a firewall in the last year. So we launched out a VPN through that, and we're using remote desktop for those who are really hung to their desktop. They have an app or something that makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
Mostly our IT folks, because obviously we use a lot of more complicated software that isn't really VDI compatible.
Well, it's certainly it's interesting the tools people are using, but Citrix is you're clearly seeing. I mean, I was selling and working and integrating Citrix since 1998 or so. So it's been around for quite a while, in a very mature technology now. And between terminal services, Citrix, and the VMware stack, you just can't beat the Citrix as far as longevity and stability at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just great to see that a lot of the things we put in place are now everybody sees it, and I think that they understand why we made those investments, and they're just reaping the benefit of it now.
Yeah.
We've really not, as a company, we haven't really missed a beat.
Now, is your business? Are you hosting those systems at a co-location facility or just at your corporate location?
We have it at our corporate location. We have a off-site facility for disaster recovery, and it's actually pretty much the same environment in our disaster recovery.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Well, great. Well, great. And your business is insurance, correct?
Yeah, we're insurer of last resort, so we're a quasi-state agency, so we're a little different. We are an auto insurance carrier. We help those who have been turned down by two other carriers or
Okay.
have been canceled by one. So we're kind of that last resort. We're there to help those folks who are just having a difficult time getting insurance through auto insurance in the state of Maryland only.
Okay.
So we're always there for them. We never turn people down. You know, we don't look at their credit history, things like that. So it's important that we keep running. Obviously, we have a good social mission there. So
Yeah, right, right. And that's fantastic. So IT's role for you moving forward, do you see the business, is it just business as usual, or do you see it needing to redo some business models to take it to account for what's happening right now?
there's a few things. I mean, we developed a continuity plan, a more solid continuity plan over the last 4 or 5 years as a business. And we in IT we weren't real sure about a lot of the things the business said they could do manually under these circumstances. And sure enough, some of them they can't do quite the way they thought. But we've actually, in the long run, I've been really pleased to see what our business has done over the last almost 2 weeks now, I guess, and how they're managing things and the quick turn that they made on a lot of the manual processes. So they would have sometimes literally a piece of paper that went from this desk to this desk, and now they're emailing it. They've set up a couple new mailboxes, and they're getting approvals through online. You know, we're sending email approvals and things that maybe required a signature on the document in the past. So they've really stepped up and done a good job there. But I think it'll be a good opportunity when things settle down, or if they continue, to figure out which of those manual processes that they've redone are still a pain point, and what can we do to help them. I think there's still some opportunity there.
Yeah.
We use a document handling tool called ImageWrite with Vertafore, so has a big use for us, because obviously being an insurance company, we have a lot of documents that we have to store, and we want to share those with our agents. We want to share those with our customers. So it also has a workflow tool where we can actually, through a document, you know, what's the flow of that document, and you can automate some workflows there. So we'll probably be looking at that more over the next few months. But we're sort of hoping things settle down, get back to normal, and then we can step back and say, what can we do in the future? What can we do better? You know, we still have some people who really just want to be in the office, or they just want to keep doing things the old way. They want to print things. So I think this is an opportunity now to say, look what it did to us, and now what do we need to do? And I think it's just an opportunity to get better, make changes. I think we can, if we ever want to, we can move to a smaller building, because we could do even more teleworking.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of opportunities here that we need to step back and think about.
The ImageWrite Vertafore that you mentioned, is that a insurance company specific vertical software player, or is that something that's more wider scope than that?
It's wider scale. Yeah, they have a big market in insurance, but it's a wider scale. Yeah.
So it's ImageWrite, RIGHT, ImageWrite.
Correct.
And Vertafore is the name of the product, VERTIFORE.
It's actually Vertafore, so VERTAFORE.
Great. I think that's going to be it's a neat little tool, and I think it's important what you brought up regarding it's a theme that I'm seeing quite a bit of the conversations is this is exposing some of the process inefficiencies that we sort of can get used to. You know, their legacy processes, not so much legacy, but there's manual ways of doing things. But this really exposes those, and it's interesting how you're going to be looking at the workflows moving forward, because, hey, if we can be more efficient, you know, that benefits the company, benefits the people and the human beings and the customers ultimately, right?
Right.
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate you, Butch, for jumping on and sharing some of your wins with everybody. I think, one question, terminals. What are you using, like a Wise terminal, HP terminal, or I guess HP owns Wise, but what type of terminals are you using to connect to your Citrix systems?
I just call them HP. I'm not sure what the
It's probably
actual.
it's probably the Wise. It's probably the embedded Wise.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds correct. Yes.
And are you embedding
We
a
just
browser?
recently looked at. I think we just recently started looking at another device.
Okay.
I think they call them pies or. I think
Yeah,
there's
like a little brick. It's like a little.
yeah, there's a little, yeah, they have a name for them, but they're still around the same price that they have been for years. They really haven't changed much. I thought they'd be a little
If you
cheaper,
find
but
it,
they're still
send me an email
still
on
around
it.
the same.
If you remember it, if your infrastructure guy knows that name, send it to me. But do you have a local browser on those, or are you pushing all the browsing through the Citrix farm?
We push it through the Citrix phone. Yeah, everything's through there. So we force them because we have some legacy applications, so we're kind of stuck with IE incompatibility mode, things like that. So
Sure.
We have to control that environment as much as possible especially with 150 users, the ones that are they're pretty structured users. So we have to lock down what browsers they use for some applications.
It's also great for compliance. I mean, you just keep everything behind that firewall and in governance perspective.
Yeah, security, I mean, they're all read-only desktops, so they can only, even if they get a virus, they can only harm a small section of systems or some of their map drives maybe, but they're limited as far as the risk that we have with them.
Well, Butch, I really appreciate you jumping on the call for today and sharing what's working for you.
Yep, thanks for your time, and hopefully things will keep going well and we can all get back to normal soon.
Yeah, it sounds good. And I'll be publishing this sometime. My team probably in the next day or two, and feel free to share it out on LinkedIn. I'm going to let my community know about it. But I think this is a great example of how people can look at process flows and some of the tools that they want to map to and build moving forward.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.